Mic check. Mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Is there any way? Mic check. Mic check. Ah, damn it. Oh. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Appreciate that, brother. Travis. What's happening, homie? I'm trying to get this right, my man. Like this is like the future, my G. I'm trying to begin to do the live streaming and all that. My man. Can we close this? So what's happening with y'all, man? Y'all can see me pretty good. I'm not lagging or nothing. Like I wanted to use my camera, but I need like the device to connect it directly to the PC. My man, my man. And plus, man, there really don't be too much things dropping during the week these days, man. It be really killing me. Like I really be wanting to hear some new music, but for the most part, people be holding on to this stuff until Thursday night, and then they try to go from there to get like the most views and get the most streams so they can get onto the Billboard charts and all of that, man. So really, there's not much happening during the week. And then on the weekends, I be mad busy. Like weekends, I I help with these dudes. Like I do African performances and stuff like that, man. So I come through, help the DJs and help a whole bunch of people out. So I really don't have the time to be doing things on the weekends. And during the week, there's really not much happening until Thursday. So I'm like, I need to figure out something during all of these days because you guys know me, man. I like to do stuff pretty much every day because it keeps me active. It keeps me focused on the music, man. I listen to a whole bunch of underground people stuff, and that's kind of what I wanted to attempt to do here. Like play some underground stuff and see how I feel about it because I was going to listen to them eventually. It's just I don't know. I just need to get it right. Like, have you guys heard of this chick named Cash Doll? Like, it's like a new mixtape that came out today, I think. Like, I never heard of her at all, but that's the type of stuff that I like to listen to. I'll pull up Cash Doll, people out, see what she talking about. And you never know, man. You might come across somebody who's pretty dope.
I want to release music. The great part about it all is I have a lot of music, right? Because I was making music for those 2 years where I was stuck inside of my contract. I want to release some music for my cash brats because they've been holding me down and I love
Like
my cash brats. I want
can
to
you
give
guys
back to
hear
them.
the music right
I'm
now?
happy I'm free. I know they're happy I'm free. I know they're waiting on music. So I think I'm going to just go down there and I'm going to go to the vault and I'm going to get a good 15 tracks for them for this month. And while I'm at it, I'm going to give them a motherfucking crown too. Baby girl, when God give you a crown, ain't nobody take that away. But you, yeah. Came here this evening for one reason, to get the fuck down. So get the fuck down. Kiss my hand when you see me, baby. That was
My
wrong.
man.
I go by the name of DJ Angel Baby.
And you know that's kind of the thing, man. Like I try to be the buffer in between the new people and people who want to hear something dope. You feel me?
I was born with this crown. I was born with the glory. The baddest bitch alive, hotter than Jamaican curry. Skin silky smooth and his pussy never furry. My money hella long. I swear these bitches should be worried. Royalty, kiss the ring. I'm on the winning team. I was made to get the cream. I'm touching everything. Think I'm playing, niggas better check my lineage. You probably see my fucking face next to Elizabeth. Stand tall when I enter the room. Mistake me having dignity as being bougie or rude. But heavy is the head of the one who wears the crown. Better curse me when you see me, bitch. Fall the fuck down. For one reason, to get the fuck down. So get the fuck down. Kiss my hand when you see me, baby. Cause I was born. Yeah, they got me big to the speak. Play my shit loud. Play my shit loud. Acting like the heat thing. Yeah. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm of a certain quality. Probably why I never let these hating bitches bother me. Shit, I know my status. I don't partake in this peasantry. I would hate me too if I was them. So I just let it be. They say I'm queenly, but I'm worthy of the title. Sometimes I feel as if my fans go crazier than Michael. My pieces hit their time. Got shit to blow your mind with. Even got somebody that I pay to spit and shine shit. If that ain't royal, what the fuck is? Only Robin Leach can show you niggas the way that I live. 2.6 on my crib. Think I earned it. Every time I doubt myself, thank y'all for reminding me. Came here this evening for one reason, to get the fuck down. So get the fuck down.
Hold on.
That was wrong. Yeah.
Is that better? Is that better? And see, I guess it's like it's not built for like playing music. It's more built for just saying stuff. So we could just chill on it then. I mean, honestly, off of just that one song right there, you feel me, dude? This Cash Doll chick, she pretty nice. Like, what did she say? Robin Leach is the only one who could show you how I'm living. Like, she got some skill set. Like, and you know, that's the thing, man. A lot of women out here, they really focus in on, okay, I'm having sex, I'm getting paid off of my sex, all of this stuff, I'm beautiful, so therefore I don't need to have these bars. You feel me? Wow. This chick, just based off the intro, I'm not gonna go too far outside of the intro, dude. But it seems as though she's more skill based. And I like where she's going. Like that's something I'm gonna have to continue to listen to as it goes on. You feel me? But as you can tell, audio issues, man, like with actually playing music. I probably should play it on my other PC. But we could just chill out on that right now. That's for another time, man. We going yeah, Yes, indeed. I'm still trying to get this right. Honestly, man, I'm trying to get a way better camera and stuff involved on this streaming. But this is like the wave of the future. You feel me? I'm trying to get involved in it because I see all of these people out here getting A's. And I've been had these ideas. What up, Imani? What's happening? I'm just up in here testing, you dig? Trying to make sure that I can get into this streaming game. You feel me? Like I was just playing some stuff too, man. Like, have you heard of Cash Doll? She dropped like a mixtape today. It's actually like the intro. I could only listen to the intro because the sound ain't coming in right off the stream, man. But sound like it could be pretty dope. What up, Isaiah, man? That's my man's. I always be watching my videos and such, dude. What's good with your pimp? Like, and I figure, yeah, what up, Sean? That's my man's there too. I be remembering y'all, man. I always be trying I always be talking with everybody out there, man. Like I don't ever get a chance to really talk to the subscribers and stuff no more, like all of the messages because I'm so busy. My man. But I guess when I get the live stream jumping with this can hopefully become jumping, man, that I'll be able to talk more with y'all. You dig? Because the direct messages, I get so many of them now these days, dude. It's kind of difficult for me to follow. But how was y'all weekends and all of that stuff, dude? Cause what happened? Like this past weekend, I was damn. I think I went to I was at Raleigh or whatever, man. I traveled up to Raleigh to do like a performance with my homies. Like I do like shows with my African homies and stuff, dude. So that's why I really don't be doing weekend videos like that no more because a lot of times I'm traveling. A lot of times I'm doing other things, man. Yes, D. Yes, D. Good to see everybody coming up in here, man. I thought I wasn't going to be popping. You feel me? I thought, I'd only get the views based off the videos, not so much the streams. But y'all all hear me pretty good, man. Like I played some music and they said that the music was distorting a bit. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do that. But that's kind of the goal, like because you guys know every day I be listening to 15 plus mixtapes and sending people individual somewhat reviews. I just tell them about their skill set or whatever. And I've been meaning to take that and actually live stream it and actually show people as I go all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, all the in between. You dig? And that's why I feel as though, man, this live streaming stuff, man, is the future. And I just lost. Yes, see, I'm telling you, man. That chick Cash Doll, she's more skill based than most female MCs. Like she's not as good as say, damn, there's this one chick, she from Atlanta. Her name is Diamond something. I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know where she's from. She might just be from Detroit. She got that sound like she could be from Detroit. Oh, no doubt, player. Like I love to listen to pretty much everybody's stuff. Rhapsody's from Raleigh and all that. Rhapsody's cool, man. I like her, but everybody kind of overhyped Rhapsody. Like her last album, people was like, "Yeah, this is a top 5 album." Like I never got a chance to review it, but I wasn't like huge on it. Like it was cool. It was solid. Her Ninth Wonder, they like to do their thing. They trying to represent for Raleigh and all of that, man. But yet, she's not like the most skillful individual that I come across. The chick that I was talking about, her name is G.I. Peaches. She's from Atlanta. Like I was gonna put her on my freshman class of this year, which I still may. I just never got around to doing the freshman class because one, the whole freshman class thing is becoming redundant at this point. Like Double XL, they kind of ran it into the ground and they always selecting terrible musicians. And honestly, I kind of tried to go along and go away from it because these guys are just messing up the game. You feel me? Uh, I would say she's more Rhapsody good. You know, Tink is. I like Tink though, but I would say like okay. This chick, she's actually spitting balls. You feel me? Like you know how most women try to just talk about their sex and all of that stuff, but yet this chick, she was actually saying stuff like, only Rob, only what did she say? She said only Robin Leach can show you how I'm living and stuff like that. I respect that. I respect that. I mean, you gonna like who you like or whatever, man. And I know a lot of people like Rhapsody. You feel me? She's just not for me though. Like, I like the fact that she attempts to spit balls. I like that they got the whole rally sound that they're trying to pave the way for, but yet really not big on them. You feel me? Like I just don't feel as though the quality music is there. Like they're so focused in on trying to do this sound and having Ninth Wonder and all of that that they're not really piecing together great music. I don't know Cupcake, but what's up, these stills? 2007. But there's a bunch of like people out there, man, that I wanted to holler. Jid is the only one I will for. Jid is dope, man. I definitely do like Jid. Like, dude, he spits some balls. I mean, honestly, the whole class though, he's cool, but he wouldn't be in my freshman class. Like, he's definitely climbing. He's definitely seeing notoriety and all that. But how could you not have Nick Grant and say that you're doing like a freshman class? You did. And I'm happy to see Nick Grant is finally popping a little bit. Like they starting to throw him in more things like the BET Awards and all of that stuff. But Double XL, man, when they didn't put in Nick Grant, I'm like, I'm done with this list. Just like how when they didn't put in Los, I was done with the list. Just like how they snubbed like another like really good lyricist before, man, and I'm done with them. I'm telling you, man, Nick Grant is the future. If they would ever let a real nigga in to the music game again, Nick Grant should be that guy. I've been following Nick Grant for a very long time. I've seen the progression you did, and people are just now seeing him for who he is. Yes. Didn't like King Los like go back to freestyle battle rapping or something? Or does he have like a battle rap lined up coming up shortly? Because I see a whole bunch of the battle rap stuff off my Twitter feeds. It's just I never had the time to sit up and watch anything. But Los has always been sick with it. Like, and did you guys know King Los sent me a message on a review that I did for him a while ago. You did, and he was pissed. Like I forget exactly which project it was, but it was one of the ones that wasn't that good. But he was mad that I called him out on it not being that good. I'm like, bruh, I've been supporting you going way back. You just never seen it. Facts, Isaiah. But I've been supporting King Los for a long time. All the OGs to the channel know I support King Los 100%. I put in the time. And I always wanted to see him succeed, but the one mixtape that I felt as though he was lacking on is the one review that he sees from me, and then he ends up trying to flip out on me or something, man. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm cool on you. That's why I ain't reviewed like the last two. because he want to act funny style like that. But I still got love for Los, man. I still got love for the music, man. I can separate the music from the individual. Double XL is no more in line for showcasing great talent. That's facts. See, you can kind of tell that Double XL is trying to like get paid off the fact that they're Double XL. So record labels are going to throw them the money to showcase these people that they have coming up instead of, okay, these are the dope acts that's coming up in the game right now. Like, and I can't be mad at it. Like, if I had the ability to charge and people were going to follow me regardless, I might go ahead and do something like that. But I would still like focus in on the quality music though. And that's why I got the issue with Double XL. I ain't mad at them getting paid. I'm just mad at them for turning their backs on good music. For real, Talib got you. What did Talib say to you, pimp? Like, this is why they say you should never meet your heroes or anything like that. Because if you look up to Talib and all of that, dude, and they see the wrong thing that you say, they'll believe that you really ain't looking out for them. But you know, heroes are heroes. You always got to move on. There's always the next artist. There's always the next people coming out. You did like there's a dude out there that I really want to show love to and promote and do stuff for, man. His name Buick B. Have you guys heard of Buick B? Like Buick B, I believe he's from Philly, in which he's skillful as ever, dude. It's just he's never online. He never like he just drops a project and disappears completely. And you really can't do anything with that type of puzzle. And even though I put him on my best mixtapes of the year for last year, and he was probably gonna be on my freshman class, you did. But you know, some people just ain't got it together for you to help them out. And some people they'll see the wrong things and they'll try to flip out on you. Some people, you know, you can only really focus on you. I'm waiting for a bandana from Gangsta Gibbs and Madlib coming back together, huh? Pinata was pretty. Pinata was pretty dope. Honestly, though, I mean, Pinata was pretty dope for the time, but it didn't like consistently grow with me. You did like a lot of those songs from Pinata, they fell by the wayside. There's only really one song off of that Pinata album that I'm still rocking with to this day. Uh what is it? Is uh Everybody Ain't Loyal is like the Jeezy diss or something. Oh, what up, Diplomat? My favorite album so far this year, man. Nipsey Hussle, bro. Nipsey Hussle is pretty much number one going on right now, man. You gotta show all the love, even though he's not the most lyrical of individuals and stuff, dude. But the quality of music that Nipsey Hussle delivered was just amazing. Like I knew he had it in him, but I didn't think he was gonna go that far. But then you also gotta like Prime. That Prime album was pretty fire. Uh and then Royce the 5'9", his solo album, that was pretty fire too. Uh, and then there was a couple others that I disagree about his comment about bigotry and pro homosexuality. I never got to the Black Thought album, dude. And that's my man's too, man. I love some Black Thought, dude. It's just there was a bunch of stuff that was happening along that same time period. So I never really got to him. And as far as Talib, you know, that's all like political based and all of that, man. So everybody is going to disagree on these types of things. So it is what it is. But I mean, he should at least be able to have a conversation with you. You feel me? Like I disagree with a lot of you guys as well, but I'll always be able to sit up and conversate with you as long as you ain't being disrespectful. After a few listens of that Drake album, do I feel the same? Uh, I honestly feel as though the rap side of the diss, man, some of the songs began to wear on me. Like it's still going like 2 songs strong, but the other 2 songs they began to wear. While the R&B side, it's still going about the same way. You feel me? You still rocking with Pinata? That's what's up. I mean, Freddie Gibbs actually sent me a message about that too, like, because he watched my review off of that. And in that review, I said that all the real quote unquote hip hop heads, you can't claim this Pinata album because Freddie Gibbs has been a gangster rapper from the beginning. Just because he's doing something with Madlib doesn't mean he's not gangster no more. You dig? And all the quote unquote real hip hop heads, you will respect gangster music. And he felt that. And I feel you, Diplomat. Like, that Drake album is way too long. Like, he had a great EP in there, but yet he decided to stretch it out to like 25 songs, which that wasn't even necessary. You feel me? That was honestly the wrong move to do. Like, if he would have just dropped 7 songs Kanye style, which I know he's beefing with Kanye because Kanye did what he did. But if he would have took that formula, just did the best 7 songs, it would have worked. Like, that album could have been a top 10, maybe. I'm not going to say top 5, but maybe a top 10 EP of the year if he would have took the best songs and only used that. But yet, it is just way too far. Yeah, I already reviewed the Wiz Khalifa album, bro. I reviewed that one yesterday, in fact. Now, something that I don't really tell people all the time and such, man. Wiz Khalifa is my cousin. And I review a bunch of his stuff, and I try to consistently be like as balanced with Wiz Khalifa's stuff as everybody else's. So I end up hearing some stuff every so often when people in the family don't agree with my critique of Wiz, in which that Wiz album, man, is mad disappointing, bro. And I'm pretty sure Cousins is going to start hollering at me about that shit. But it is what it is. What up, Caesar 187? What up, my G? Yeah, the R&B side, man, of Drake's album was mad boring, bro. For the most part. I mean, once it started getting into like more substance and started getting better production, but I just can't stand that Marvin's Room style singing that Drake does, man. That makes you ultimately want to fall asleep because I mean, there was a good point in time where I only liked Drake from Best You Ever Had. But then when he started flipping it up into the Marvin's Room and all that, there was a long period of time where people was like, man, you just a Drake hater. You never like anything that Drake does. You never like anything Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj does. But then when he started bringing it back into the realm of hip hop and stuff, man, Drake started to take off for me again. But this whole second half of the side B of that Scorpion album, man, a lot of that super dry R&B, couldn't really get with it. Pinata is great for the hip hop heads. Consider it a classic. That's what's up. Telling you what that new Freeway. See, I never got to the Freeway project, and here's my thing. I try to stay up to date and focused on the new dudes who's in control of the game. And I mean, I understand people got a lot of love for Freeway from going back to the old Rockefeller days and stuff, man. Like, I always have arguments with people all the time when they say Rockefeller was one of the greatest record labels there ever was. They were good, but for the most part, if it wasn't Jay, if it wasn't Kanye, then the rest of the label really faltered. You dig? And that's one of the reasons why I'm not rocking with the new Freeways and stuff like that, man, because the time has passed and I want to give the new younger dudes out here a chance instead of staying back in the 90s and 2000 era. You feel me? He did Michael Jackson wrong with the sample on the Drake joint. I don't know about all he did it wrong. Like, That Michael Jackson song wasn't all that bad. I still rock with that one. You dig? Like, there's only like 2 songs off of the R&B disc. Well, 3 if you want to include the singles and such. But the Michael Jackson joint wasn't bad. I mean, I know the family is kind of mad that he went on ahead and did that when it wasn't a completed song and Mike never wanted to release it. It was a mad old sample. That was going back before Bad, I think. But I can't, I mean, you want to show love to your idol and all of that, man. And the song wasn't that chill. Rockefeller was one of the best top 10, if not top 5. I can I can agree with top 10, but just based off the fact that the greatest rapper, well, not the greatest, but one of the greatest rappers of all time was the one who was pioneering that. That's pretty much where I base it. But when you look at the rest of Rockefeller, like they all fell by the wayside simply because like they couldn't shine that close with Jay. Like any sun, any planet close to the sun isn't going to shine as good as the sun, and that's exactly what happened to Memphis Bleak, Beanie Siegel, Freeway, and all these individuals that was cool. They did some numbers. They was going what gold or something like that, man. But none of them was going to ever shine as great as Jay shined, and they doomed themselves by trying to run with him. You dig? And on top of that, you all know that Jay is selfish when it comes to promotion, so you mess yourself up. Uh, West Side Gun. I've heard some of West Side Gun. I have heard some of West Side Gun stuff. You dig? And I mean, he really hasn't hit me with any hits or anything that makes me want to continue to rock with him yet. Like, I'm still going to peep out some new stuff from him whenever he does drop, but as of now, he's really not rocking with me right now. Do you put Nipsey Hussle as a lyricist? I don't believe so. Like Nipsey Hussle, he's good. He's good at making a vibe. He's good at making gangster music, but he's not really great at punchlines. He's not really great at metaphors or anything like that. He's great at making great songs for him. And when you are true to yourself and you make good music for yourself and you select good promotion, I mean, when you select good production and you can make good hooks and such, man, you can make great music. And that's what Nipsey Hussle did. Just like that's what Jeezy did. I wouldn't consider Jeezy as a lyricist either, but yet he makes really good music, really good trap music for himself that people rock with. And I consider him just like that. Kid Trunks, I've been seeing him around a whole bunch. I believe I listened to one project from Kid Trunks. It really wasn't anything major for me. Like, I'm going to continue to listen to him though as more and more music come out. But I see a whole bunch of projects like consistently put out there. You can see these are the people that are pushing to be the next double XL freshman class, or they pushing to build their own notoriety. And Kid Trunks seems to be one of them. So I'm going to give him a chance. Peak Love Never Blossoms from Kid Trunks. I'm gonna give him a chance. He's more than a gangster rapper. He's not the greatest lyricist, but Nipsey Hussle is a lyricist, in your opinion. I respect that. Alexander, I just answered that, but I answered again, man. The best album so far is Nipsey Hussle, but there is a bunch of other projects out there that's within that top 5 range, from Prime to Royce the 5'9" solo album, and there was a couple more that I was liking. I just can't think of them right now. Yep, I heard of Payroll Giovanni. Never listened to any of his stuff though. But like there's a bunch of people, man, I see them all the time. I just never get a chance to listen to them. How would y'all classify Payroll? Like Diplomat say that he's dope. Is he like a gangster rapper of the new generation? Is he like a lyricist? Like with the name Payroll and your Giovanni and all that, man, I would assume that he's like a gangster dude. West Side Gun is dope. That New York vibe is needed in the. Now, okay, I agree with you that the New York vibe, it has to come back into the range of music or whatever, but yet it has to be updated. It can't be like the super grimy New York rap as we know it right now, because a lot of these New York cats and stuff, man, they only liking they stuff because it's they stuff. Like it's not so much quality music. Like somebody needs to take it and evolve it into something better instead of just trying to do the same thing. Smoke Pulp is garbage, Hefe. I'm sorry. Like, and I wanted to give him the benefit of a doubt. I listened to some of his projects and stuff, man. And I see he made the double XL freshman list, like everybody from that Florida region, from Fort Lauderdale and Miami and all of that, they all working together to find success, and I respect it. But Smoke Pulp, well, his album that I reviewed, that was bad. That was really bad, bro. Now, Little Peep, I never heard him before he died. And that's why I never like touched on any of the newer projects that I consistently see pop up. Because I don't know if this is like material that somebody's just taking and putting it out there, or if this is like an actual project that he had in the works. And from what I understand, I don't think he was that good of a rapper. Like, I'm not gonna give nobody no props because they died. You dig? I'm gonna treat you the same way while you're alive. It's the same way I'm gonna treat you while you're dead. And Lil Peep, from the few things that I did here, I was not impressed by him. But I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful or anything like that. But at the end of the day, man, I'm just gonna tell you what it is. Did you see Spotify's list of the most listened to artists by state? Nah, I didn't see that. Like, the only Spotify list that I've been seeing is Drake is killing all of the streams and all of that nonsense, man. And that's just to be expected, though. I like Vince Staples. I like the fact that Vince Staples decided to evolve as a musician, because like when he was saying all the white people saying the N word at his concerts and stuff, man, he decided, okay, let me just go ahead and flip up the whole script. I like the fact that he's a good enough artist to be able to do that, but he isn't polished on this new direction that he's trying to go. You feel me? Like the whole EDM feel to the music that he's doing, like it has potential, but yet he needs to really continue to experiment, continue to work at it, and then from there, we'll see if he can create a hit, because I really don't think he's created a hit in quite some time. Really? Cardi B and Migos wasn't on the Spotify list? Like, now, is this including all genres, or is this just hip hop here? Because I mean, Cardi is somewhat new, but Migos definitely should be on that list. I listened to Rock Marciano. I did. And he was cool. I mean, the last rock, I think you were the one who put me on to Rock Marciano, like the last project and such, man. And it was I think that he definitely has some room for improvement. I definitely think that he needs to create better hits and stuff, man. But yeah, he's I though. Uh, Hefe, that ain't troll, brother. It's promotion. And honestly, I listen to your stuff. And after I listen to your stuff, you got to understand who I am so that you respect my opinion. You feel me? That ain't no trolling. Uh, what do I think about Little Skies? I like Little Skies. Like, and what's up, one player? I really do like Lil Skies. Like he was one of the few people on the Double XL freshman class that somewhat impressed me because that was the first time I actually heard from him when they put him on the Double XL freshman class. And when I did my homework on him, I'm like, all right, he's pretty cool. I liked him. I liked Wi-Fi's funeral, in which I've been seeing Wi-Fi's funeral around a whole bunch, but never really gave him a shot like that. But yeah, both of them was pretty cool. I like Jid. We was just talking about Jid a little while ago and all of that, man. And honestly, I think that's really about it from that double L freshman class. What are my top 5 favorite albums of all time? Whew. Like in no particular order. No particular order, bro. Uh I like Reasonable Doubt. Like I just love the hustle music. Like that was like the album that opened my eyes to the hustle art of music and all that, man. I still love that album to this day. Uh I liked a lot of people like I like Ready to Die a lot. Biggie's Ready to Die. And I know a lot of people like Life After Death a little more in a bunch of cases, man. But Ready to Die, I got the vast majority of that memorized. I loved another one of my top 5 albums, AZ Asiatic. Like I always liked AZ for a very long time, but Asiatic solidified him as one of my favorite artists ever to do it. Oh man, I would kind of go in the range of I would have to continue to look it up and stuff, man. But yeah, AZ is a legend. Yes, Asiatic was dope. Nas, yes, Nas. But I mean, surprisingly, Stillmatic was my favorite Nas album. I would definitely say that's top 5. And I know a lot of people like Illmatic, a lot of people like all the previous earlier works and stuff, man. But when Nas spit the story in reverse, I'm like, as a writer, I love that. Outcast. I love Southern Playalistic Cadillac music. I loved ATLians, but top 5, I don't know about top 5 though. Like I would probably put UGK um in my top 5. Damn, how could I forget my favorite UGK album? One day you here and the next you gone. That joint. Riding Doty. Riding Doty would probably be in my top 5. Uh, I love Eminem, but he would be outside of my top 5 though. Uh, the Marshall Mathers LP, the original, that joint was fire. Like that was definitely a great album, definitely classic, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5 though. Uh, and I like Scarface. I definitely like Scarface a lot, but I wouldn't put him. He would probably be closer into the top 15 or so. Ah, man. Like, see, y'all asked me a question that I definitely need to put in a lot of time and effort. I like meth, but not like phenomenal though. Like I maybe like a top 20, 25-ish for meth. Like I was never like all that huge on Wu-Tang. Like, and I know that may be blasphemous for a lot of people and all that, man. But Wu-Tang wasn't like wasn't really for me. Like, see, because y'all gotta understand when I started listening to music, you dig? Like, I started listening to music late, and it was well after Wu-Tang was was established. You feel me? I mean, it okay. The very first album that I ever bought was Jay-Z Volume 3. And I bought that at the same time as uh Hypnotized Camp Posse. Now, that's when I really first started listening to music. But then from there, a lot of things have happened in my life that made me go back and re-listen to a whole bunch of works as I continued to go. And I see a lot of people like Ghostface and stuff, man, but I never really enjoyed his flow and his delivery. Like it's a specific taste that I never got. Like that's why I'm not really huge on Action Bronson. But there are instances though where him and Action Bronson and all them they make great music. But I always like Raekwon more than Ghostface. I always like Method Man more than Ghostface. Backstreet Boys was your first album that you buy. Hey, I respect it. I like we just hop into the music game. We never know exactly what's happening. We got to go from there. My favorite No Limit artist. Now don't laugh, but when I was young, my favorite artist was Silk the Shocker. Until I learned like later on in life that Silk the Shocker cannot rap. Like Silk was so garbage. Like it was so whack. But then as time continued to pass, I'm like, yo, Mystical was amazing. That Here I Go, Mystical was the best. I know a lot of people like Fiend. I know a lot of people like a whole bunch of P had his stuff too that make them say, na 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 na. I mean, super commercial, but yet it was a hit that molded the music industry to where it's at right now. You feel me? Like if it wasn't for make them say, could you literally say that Lil Boosie and all them would actually be coming in and doing what they did? Like No Limit was pretty corny, Sean, but yet you got to respect them because they dominated. Like honestly, No Limit dominated way harder than what Rockefeller did. And Rockefeller had better musicians and stuff in there, but you cannot say that No Limit didn't dominate the music industry 10 times harder than what Rockefeller did. Money, Power, Respect was your first hip hop album. That's respect. Money, Power, Respect, man, that joint was hot. I think honestly still my favorite Locks album right there. You dig? Like from that point, I think Locks kind of went down from there. And I know a lot of people love the Locks and all of that, man, but I don't think they could ever top Money, Power, Respect. Nah, that my bad. That's what I was thinking. We the streets, we the streets. Damn. But I mean, I feel you like about Action Bronson. Like nobody really rocks with Action Bronson because he want to talk shady about Ghostface when if there's no Ghostface, there's no Action Bronson. So there's no way Ghostface should ever have said anything. I mean, no way that Action Bronson should have ever said anything negative towards Ghostface ever in life. But he did it outside of Snoop, Mystical, and Mac. No Limit was bad. This is facts. What's my favorite Lil Wayne project? The Carter One, easily. And I loved The Block is Hot. Block is Hot was fire. I mean, when he wasn't so focused on lyricism, like that was some of my favorite Lil Wayne. But yet, The Carter, where a lot of people saying that he got the ghost writing there, But at the end of the day, man, the Carter One was a classic. And regardless of if it was ghostwriting by Gilly the Kid or not, the bars was hot, the songs was hot. Like that really brought me back to Cash Money, because when they broke up with Manny Fresh and all of that, man, when the whole team fell off, I decided I'm really not big on Cash Money no more. But when the Carter came out, I went back to Cash Money like, yo, that was cool. And which Cash Money did it way bigger and better than what Rockefeller ever did, still to this day. You did. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm not big on Rockefeller as a label, because there are other labels out there that did it bigger, did it better. And honestly, does ghostwriting even matter anymore? Nah, ghostwriting don't matter anymore. Honestly, the way I look at ghostwriting is it became part, it's always been part of the game, one, and two, it you're splitting the wealth. You feel me? Like there's plenty of writers that's out there who definitely trying to do their thing out there to try to find their own success in the game, but they need somebody to cut them a break. So if you were to go out there and buy a ghostwriter for a song and that song hits, then that individual got the money that they can do their own thing. If so be it, you pay them well and they get some royalties, and you got another hit to prolong your career, man. It's a win-win situation for everybody. Now, everybody has this hip hop, you're supposed to write all of your own lyrics and all of that, man, in order to be respected thing happening, because it's all a competition. But the game stopped being a competition when Jay-Z flipped it up to talking about nothing about making all of these M's and making all of this money. So the competition aspect of it is more into the freestyle battle rap. So it doesn't really matter in the commercial game if you're not writing your stuff, because it's not competitive no more. Like nobody is really trying to beef on a lyrical level like that. Like you only see a few instances of it and it gets super personal. But outside of that, dude, like if you want competition, you want people writing their own stuff, watch the freestyle battle scenes and stuff. But as far as the commercial industry, man, it's about getting your money. Ooh, my favorite non-hip hop artist. Shit, bro. That one is a tough one, because like hip hop is me, bro. That's the vast majority of everything that I listen to. But uh yeah, that's one I would have to like research, bro. Because I mean, I got a lot of R&B records that I still listen to this day. But to classify them as like my favorites, I would have to get back to you on that one, my G. I respect rappers who write this shit more than people who don't. I feel you, but I mean, how do you know that they're writing it? Like, whose name is actually on top of it? Who's gonna literally come out and say, well, I didn't write it though? Any up and coming newcomers I recommend? Yes. Buick B, Philly rapper. He got a mixtape called Wordplay. It was the best mixtape of last year. I love Kwame Katana. He's a rapper coming out of he's from Pennsylvania. He's not from Pittsburgh or Philly. It's not Erie. It's one of them off-brand spots in Pennsylvania. But Kwame Katana, he just dropped a project too, and I didn't get a chance to peep it yet. But Kwame Katana is nice. Um, there's a guy named Doe Beasy. He from Houston, Texas, in which his latest stuff has been kind of bad. You feel me? Like it hasn't been phenomenal at all. But yet he dropped one classic mixtape, uh, something on the moon, something on the moon. But definitely peep out those three. Footprints on the Moon, I believe it's called. Check out those 3 acts, man. They are pretty fire. Who are my favorite producers? Just Blaze. I love the sampling. He always took sampling to a whole nother level, man. And then the musicianship that he applies to the new unique samples that he do, that was dope. Mannie Fresh, he put Cash Money on his back and made them into something. Before Lil Wayne was a lyricist, before any lyricism, that whole label saw mass success off the back of Mannie Fresh and his skillful production. If you want to consider, well, Dr. Dre, he's not so much a producer like that no more. Timbaland is definitely one of my favorites, top 3 right there, easily. He's still doing his thing. Ninth Wonder, I met Ninth Wonder before one time out in Raleigh, and he's all right. Like his sampling skills, he was great with Little Brother when they was doing like the super dope stuff from back in the day. But he really ain't like when he had the chance to showcase his skill set and rock with the biggest act out there in Jay-Z, he pulled Lucifer. I'm like, come on, bruh. You've had 1,000 times better beats than Lucifer, and this is the one that you give to Jay-Z. This is your breaking out beat. This is the one that you do. So I kind of fell out with him. Heatmakers is cool. I like Heatmakers. Who else would I consider to be a great producer? Well, I mean, outside of those known ones, I come across a lot of underground producers that does they things. The Shipmates, they're like a underground producers that's out there in the UK. Them dudes is pretty hot. And yes, Sean, Jay-Z did pick the beat. But yet it takes 2 to tango, bro. On the real. Like, just because Jay-Z picked the beat doesn't mean you had to make it. He made the beat before Jay-Z selected the beat. Or he made the beat right there and Jay-Z said, it's cool. Let me go ahead and use that one. When you knew you were better than that, Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder knew he made better beats than that. Ninth Wonder should have had something in the stash. Like, instead of doing this, let's go ahead and rock with my favorite production here because this is going to reflect on me. Overrated? Yes, Swizz Beatz, overrated. Like Swizz, he has his moments though. Like he has his moments where he does a pretty good beat, but then he messes it up because he wants to talk about it all the time on the song and such. Like he did a song with Nipsey Hussle that didn't make the Nipsey Hussle album, and it was a hot sample. It was a hot track, but then Swizz decided he wanted to rap on it, and he messed the whole song up. And then when you see Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, they was doing like a beat battle consistently. Like they kind of want to go on the road with the beat battles and stuff like that too, which I'm all for that. I like to see that type of stuff. But yet Swizz has gotten 8 all the way up. The only reasons why people respected Swizz and what he did on this is the fact that he was bringing in original songs that nobody heard from big known acts. That's the only reasons why people was rocking with Swizz on these battles that he had with Timbaland. But Timbaland was eating him up in this battle, bro. Yes, Swizz Beatz has made a lot of garbage in his career, but the fact that he's Swizz Beatz, he gets away with it. Which lesser known producers, you're not gonna get away with the type of garbage that Swizz Beatz puts out. Swizz is not alright as a rapper, bro. Yes, Swizz Beatz should be banned from the booth. Like, don't even do an ad lib, bro. We don't even need your energy no more. That's what we can go ahead and get all of these weak rappers out here to do. And if you guys been noticing, I've been saying it in a bunch of videos, like a whole bunch of these rappers from the Migos and all of them, they are only good for ad libs and good for energy. And Swiss Beats is the same exact kind of way. He's only good for ad libs and energy. He might be the predicate to these new age weak rappers. The new Freddie Gibbs album was dope. Like, and I love the artwork and everything that he did. He took the whole Teddy Pendergrass whole theme and such, which I thought he was finally going to do like the gangster R&B, but as he said, it's straight killer, no filler. Like it's straight killer, no filler. Like I'm never going to do anything no more. Like, and I respected it. Like that joint was pretty fire, man. My opinion on Childish Gambino. Now, Childish Gambino, his earlier work, man, I was not fond of it. To keep it 100, man. I mean, I know a lot of people liked his earlier music and all that stuff, man. I didn't. It was eh. But as time has progressed, as he's begun doing newer things like from Atlanta to all the other TV shows and movies and everything that he's been working on. You can tell he's been working at his craft. And this project that he's been like all this new music that he's been releasing. All of this new music that he's been releasing as of recently, man, it's been some of his better stuff throughout his entire career, man. Like that summertime little brief EP, that was fire. And I definitely enjoyed the whole "This Is America" as well, like the layers to it. I don't Childish Gambino ain't overrated. He's really just now getting into the swing of quality music, to keep it 100. A Chance the Rapper? Chance the Rapper, man, I believe he's an industry plant because there's no independent rapper that has ever reached the levels that Chance the Rapper has hit. One, two, his music is like I like the fact that he's been using the live musicianship and he's really been doing his thing consistently, man. But yet lyrically, you're not really getting anything from him. One, two, like quality songs and such. He's not really delivering that all like that. Like he got good vibes and he got decent messages that he's trying to send. But Chance really ain't as great as people are hyping him up to be. And that's why I believe there's something, somebody, some entity in the background pushing him all the way forward. But it is what it is. My favorite streaming platform, man. I mean, streaming platforms are just streaming platforms. Like, I know where to go to find everything without these streaming platforms, but yet I like to use uh, Spotify because I just always had Spotify. I like hip hop a meaning to song. Now, uh, Bush Montana is predicted to DJ Khaled hype man. I don't know if Bush Montana is a hype man. Now, Bush Montana, he's not that skillful either, but yet he got a vibe, and his music is somewhat of a predicate to what uh, these newer age MCs are doing as well because he was always a vibe. He was never lyrical. He was never too much of anything. But Mac and Cheese ride though, and that's what all of these newer dudes tried to do. See, that's really the direction of the music industry, man. Like lyricism, people don't people still care for lyricism. People are always going to care for lyricism. It's just record labels don't care for lyricism. Record labels are pushing out anybody who's hitting 100,000 to 500,000 subscribers on Instagram who it don't even have to be catchy music anymore, man. It's not about music. It's about are you notable? Are people following you? Are people talking about you? Are you trending on Twitter? Are you trending everywhere? That's all it takes to get put on these days, dude. I didn't listen to that Young Buck. That Young Buck, that 10, whatever, like he's still on that 10 stuff, man. In which the thing is, all of these projects were supposed to fall in line for Young Buck. It's just he got arrested and it all fell off, and he's still trying to pick up where he left off. And I don't think that's going to work out for him. But if you say that it was dope, I'll peep it. But yet I haven't really liked Young Buck music for a very long time, since back on my Buck shit. That was like the last like solid Young Buck project that I really rocked with. Do I like Logic? I projected Logic to being as big as he is now. Like when he came out, I reviewed him like just like when he first came out, I reviewed Logic before anybody knew about him, and I'm like, this kid got the potential of being great and all of that, man. Now, did he ever achieve greatness? Nah. Is he a phenomenal rapper? No. He got excellent flow and delivery. Like when he's spitting, people believe he's saying something. People believe that, he's saying something of importance or anything like that, when not really, like not even his diss track that he did to Dude was all that lyrical. Like at the end of the day, Logic is cool for another vibe. I mean, but people try to put extras on him because they don't pay attention to what he's saying. They just hear that he's saying it's so cool and stuff that it sounds like it's good. Vic Mensa, I got Vic Mensa's difficult, dude. Like I really don't like any of his music all like that, but I like the fact that he's unique to himself. He's unique and somewhat different, but yet a lot of things that he says and does in his personal life, I have to separate him from his music, and then his music ain't like phenomenal for me to split his whole image up from it. You feel me? Yes, I've heard Dizzy, right? In which Dizzy, man, I don't think he's going to shine like he had the potential of doing, like when he was back with Hobson and all of that, man. I think that was the moment where he needed to catapult himself to superstardom, and it never happened. And now that he's back solo style, like you can see that he's putting out the music, but people aren't really responding to it. And I haven't really heard any like solid hits from him since. Like he's been doing a lot of smoker music. He's been doing him. He's been doing a lot of things, but yet nothing has been amazing. Uh the Dom, how recent was that Dom Kennedy new album? Like it's not like brand new, but I'm not a fan of Dom Kennedy. Like Dom Kennedy. Shit. Hold up. Money Mitch. What up, bro? Hey man, I'm live streaming on YouTube right now, my nigga.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You know, can you hear me?
Can y'all hear Money Mitch? If y'all remember Money Mitch from the Drunken Reviews, this is him. Can y'all hear him? They like, I guess there's a delay on the text right now. People ain't saying nothing yet.
Yeah, man. Hit me when you done. I'm just trying to top it up with you, man. I want to rap to you about, just rap to you for a minute.
All right, my G.
But hit me up when you done singing. I might just jump in the chat.
Isaiah says, "Sup, Money Mitch."
You said what? Oh, what up?
Yeah. Yes, D said, "What's up?"
Yeah. I'm about to jump in the chat. I'm about to jump in it.
Said Mitch is about to jump in the chat.
Yeah, man.
But all right, bro.
I'm gonna be in there.
All right, bro. In a second.
All
right, well, that's my man. Like, man, hopefully Money Mitch will come back, man. Money Mitch, he moved away. But you know, them drunken reviews, man, them joints was fire. I want to bring them back. I want to do something like it. I don't know though. Say the beats on that Don Kennedy is fire, but okay, back to that. Like, I'm not a fan of the New West. You feel me? Like, a lot of that New West is kind of whack. Like, outside, like Nipsey Hussle, I wouldn't put him in the New West because he always does him. But when you start talking the DJ Mustard like beats that most of the kids from the New West have been pumping and all of that, man, it becomes super dry. It's sad for Dizzy, right? Yeah, I already talked about Vince Staples, but I like Vince Staples, man. Like he's being unique to himself. He got more of that EDM sound and stuff that he's doing. So yeah, I like Vince Staples. It's just he needs to polish the new style that he's trying to do. Like he can't just jump out and do like, I mean, he's doing what he wants to do and he likes it for himself, but yet it's not hits. It's not great music, and that's what I rock with. You feel me? I rock with the great music regardless of the genre or anything. My favorite rapper out of Pittsburgh. See, I'm from Pittsburgh, bruh. And to be real with you, I don't like Pittsburgh sound. Like Pittsburgh keep trying to sound like uh Atlanta or something. You feel me? And it's either like for Pittsburgh, it's either they're straight up New York or they're straight up like super trap Atlanta or drill music. Like it don't Pittsburgh don't have their own sound. The only one to have made it up out of there was Wiz, in which Wiz he did that just off the strength of weed music and his overall popularity. It's not so much Pittsburgh. Like his earlier works, that Pittsburgh sound and stuff from Wiz Khalifa, that should have defined Pittsburgh as a place. But yet Pittsburgh is a lot like other places, man, where you know you really don't get put on in Pittsburgh. You got to go somewhere else, and when you get the love from somebody else or whatever, man, then Pittsburgh will show love to you. Mac Miller, haven't been a fan of him for a while. He was just the white Wiz Khalifa for a while. And you know, he he was never lyrical, but he did what worked for him. You feel me? And he's still dropping stuff. And I mean, I don't like how people are making Mac Miller out to being like so messed up about Ariana Grande and all of that stuff, man. And people were saying that Ariana Grande is crapping on Mac Miller with this new music and all that. Well, she is. Like, as far as the content is concerned, she's pretty much talking down to him, saying you got problems and you are this and that you drug me down or whatever. But Ariana Grande ain't cool. Like she got some baggage with her as well. Yeah, I like Cardo. Cardo got wings. Like he got some pretty solid production. He just never evolved as a producer though. Like he's still doing the same kinds of beats that he was doing way back when. Like I'm all for progression and remaining relevant. Oh, oh man. But overall, man, I'm getting away from defining people from where they're from. You feel me? Because it's a lot like when you know a place is known for a particular food that food ends up being garbage. Like they say when you go to, say, Miami, you're supposed to go get like paninis and that type of food. But yet, because they're known for doing that type of food, they cut corners and they really don't strive to making the best like Cuban food or whatever, man. So therefore, they're not making the best Cuban food in America. And that's what I see with rap music because everybody who coming up in Chicago, you're somewhat expected to do drill music. Even though not everybody, there's a bunch of core great lyricists that's within Chicago and stuff, man, that's doing quality hip hop music in Chicago. But for the most part, people only seek out drill music from Chicago. But yet I've heard better drill type sounds from people outside of Chicago than people in Chicago. And just because your city is known for it doesn't mean that you can take a break and take your time off and like not push forward with music. So I'm not so focused on so my bad. So I'm not so focused in on where somebody is from. I'm more focused in on the quality of music that you present, if you feel me. Lex Luger is actually still doing music. And he actually has uh, evolved as a producer as well, man. I mean, because I remember there was a time where all he was doing was making beats on Fruity Loops on a laptop. Like, but as he continued to progress in the game, Lex Luger started doing more musicianship and making a lot better music. But yet, he's not notable no more. And that's the thing, man. It's not about quality in this game no more, man. It's about being notable. Now, how do you get notable and remain notable throughout the years? Everybody have their own theories on it. Like a bunch of people believe if you just consistently drop music all the time, then you can remain notable. People will always remember you. But there are a lot of aspects of people who constantly release music, but yet people get tired of them because they're constantly releasing music. So you never really know what it is that makes a producer or makes a rapper no longer famous, no longer notable, that makes them fall off. Because a lot of cases, they're still doing the same music that people liked from the jump. Yeah, Fruity Loops still exists. Fruity Loops got a whole lot better too. Like, uh, I remember way back in the day, bro, when I was making beats, Jude. Like, I had Fruity Loops, but yet, like everybody, I had the demo version, in which the demo version of Fruity Loops, you couldn't save any of your beats or anything like that. So I had to find a way around that. Like, I would save like a basic outline of how I would do beats, but yet you couldn't like use certain VST effects. Like the certain VST effects is the ones that you couldn't save. But so I would throw in a whole bunch of things, and then I would say in the name which VST effects I put in all of those, and that's how I used to save all of my projects from back in the day. But Fruity Loops still exists, man, and it's somewhat competitive. Oh, much love, brother, man. Glad you can catch the live stream, man. Even though, I mean, I'm really just testing here. Like, hopefully, I'm going to have better concepts. Like, right now, I'm just going off of what you guys saying, and we're just chopping it up, you dig? But glad that you could pop up, bro. Yes, I sure the hell did. Man, you were OG, Alexander. Like, when I went to Atlanta, we uh we was going out there to try to find a record deal, me and my homie still to this day. And I had some production, and we had like the whole squad mixtape, and we went to Atlanta to try to find a record deal. Like I knew, like, because this is way back in the day when MapQuest was jumping. Like I just went on MapQuest, searched out all of the studios and record labels and stuff that was down there in Atlanta at the time. We went down to Atlanta, and we pulled up on a dude, and like, yeah, you got some beats? Go ahead, play me something. Gave him the disc, put it in, played it. Like, oh, hold up. Is this Fruity Loops? Like, yeah, it's Fruity Loops. Like, nah, I don't listen to Fruity Loops. It took it out and gave it back to me, like within the first 10 seconds. And now my thing is, yes, if you can tell that these are the Fruity Loops samples and the actual instruments, like I didn't do a good enough job of editing and putting in reverbs and all of that stuff. Like you shouldn't really know that. But yet, that was before Laffy Taffy. Now, Laffy Taffy was Fruity Loops 100%. And that ended up being a big hit down there in Atlanta from and these dudes out there who were saying that, okay, my beats wasn't good because it was Fruity Loops, but yet your own city put on some people that was using Fruity Loops. That's why I have such animosity towards a bunch of individuals because they talk like they know everything, but yet history shows you that they know nothing. Like honestly, when you look at it like that, me and my homie, we was ahead of the curve. We was actually doing quality music on Fruity Loops and stuff. But these dudes, Laffy Taffy and all of that, man, came out, and that was pretty whack for Fruity Loops. But yet it took completely off. Will I be doing more live streams? Yes. Yeah, Tariq. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I think I still got the video where I was recording that while he was doing that. That was cool. Uh, did you know, Alexander, that Tariq made a show about me like years ago? Uh, cause he came to Charlotte, and I stood up and asked a question to him, and he didn't have the time to answer it the way that he wanted to answer it. So he did one of his podcasts about it. I'm gonna have to go back and find it. But Tariq, I like Tariq. But here's a funny story about Tariq Nasheed. So you guys know that his Mink Slide album is about to come out. And you guys know I do the music reviews, man. So I couldn't help myself. I'm like, all right, you dropping this new mixtape, the Mink Slide, new album, the Mink Slide album. I went on ahead and listened to the single, and I sent him a message on Twitter like, yo, man, I'm really not feeling this Mink Slide song right here. It's not bad, but there's room for growth here, man. You definitely need to work on your delivery and all of that, man, because his delivery and all that ain't that dope. Let's be real with it. But I gave him like, but I was like, yo, I respect what you do, and I got a guy that you could go ahead and holler at. He's actually out there in Cali. His name is Pennywell. He does like he got like some old school funk like sounds and stuff that he's doing. And Tariq, the first thing that he did was instantly hate on Pennywell because I was critical about the Mink Slide single. And I'm like, that's petty, bro. That's petty as ever, you dig? Because Pennywell ain't had nothing to do with the fact that I was critical to the Mink Slide It's Time song. But it is what it is. I'm still going to peep out the album when it does drop. Man, like we talking like 8 years ago, Alexander. I'm gonna have to research that one, bro. Like, but it was something like because I asked Tariq Nasheed the question about I'm trying to get my money right. Like And he looked at me like, "Oh, you a rapper, right?" Because this is when I had the afro and I had the chain and all of that stuff on. Like, nah, man, I do blog work and all of that stuff, man. I'm not necessarily a rapper. And like a lot of things was happening, so he couldn't really answer that question. And he spent the whole show answering how to stack your money up and how to get your money up based on online and all of that stuff. The balance is you as a listener, not the hip hop world itself. I haven't listened to radio for years. You make diversity of what makes it good. And I see, I respect that, Sean. That's absolutely right. Like, because the balance has to be with the individual these days. Like, if you looking for balance to come from the radio, it's never going to happen. Record labels do not care about hip hop music. And I hate to sound like Kanye West on that one, but it's the reality of the matter, you dig? Like, there's a lot of quality acts out there doing any kind of music that you so desire. You just got to go and seek them out. Like, you have to spend the time and effort. Like take an hour out of your life every day and listen to as many mixtapes as you can. You don't have to listen to the whole mixtape. You could just turn it on, peep it for what it is, and then decide whether you like that individual or not. And you'll be amazed how much great music is out there. And you'll be able to find your own balance. Like, I don't listen to radio at all anymore. And the reason being is because my playlist from just listening to underground musicians from year to year to year to year has gotten so massive that I can't go through my playlist anymore. And that's where my balance ultimately becomes, because I listen to the trap, the new age trap. I listen to hip hop, raw hip hop. I listen to every form of hip hop, and I listen to funk music. I listen to R&B. I listen to all of this stuff, but it's all underground music that I seeked out and found some quality stuff. Like, take for instance, Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez got put on in the game because he wanted to duplicate what Drake was doing with the whack stuff that Drake was doing, and that's what got him notoriety. But yet, if you go back to the Swavy tape, if you go back to uh, all of his earlier works and stuff, dude, he was a terrific lyricist. He created classic songs. He created a lot of great music that nobody really understands to this point right now. You feel me? And therefore, that's where your balance got to come into play. You got to be willing to go back and listen to Tory Lanez's good music instead of getting caught up on what these labels are promoting, because the labels are only going to promote the garbage that they think is going to sell, because they don't know. They don't know what's going to sell. So they're just biting off of what other people are selling. Yes, the first Chicks tape was fire. Like, bruh. But I mean, some of the later Tory Lanez projects, of course, like the later Chicks tapes, all of that has been falling completely off and such. But yet the earlier stuff, he was another one of the acts that I said years ago, like, yo, Tory Lanez is going to be the next up. He's that good. And he showcased it, but yet he switched the game up, man, to the point that he's not the same rapper that he was back in the day, dude. You didn't feel that new Nas album, Alexander? I feel that. Honestly, I didn't feel that whole new Nas album. Like, I don't think I even saved one track off of that Nas album on my playlist. Yeah, I didn't save not one track. And I mean, I'm not saying that it was bad by no means. It was cool. But it wasn't like what people were saying. Like, honestly, I was out in the club uh this last Saturday, a couple Saturdays ago. I was in the club here in Charlotte. I had an event in which I was outside trying to park a car or whatever, in the center of the city, and I saw some people rolling down the street to the Nas album, to the wackest song of the Nas album. I'm like, oh, people are actually still listening to this album. I thought it would have faded completely off, but I think people are still trying to prop it up. But I still stand by that review, man, that Kanye should not be producing Nas. Kanye shouldn't be producing Pusha T. Like he tries to be so far advanced with his production that none of the albums sound good for right now. No, 50 Cent and the Game will never get back together. If it were ever going to happen, it would have happened already. Like 50 Cent could have used the Game, you dig, because the Game got hot for his solo albums and he was moving units and all that, and 50 wasn't that hot no more. And if you were 50 Cent and you're putting back together G Unit at the time that this happened, and the Game is pushing units and he's finding his success, and you still don't want to align yourself up with him, then you just got personal issues that you'll never fix. It's over. 50 is that petty too. Like, I'm sure everybody follow 50 on Twitter and all of that, Instagram. Like, he does petty stuff all the time. So he will never let go of this kind of petty stuff. Daytona was not fire. Daytona was garbage, bro. And I mean, I can understand y'all like it. It is what it is. But I didn't keep not one song off of Daytona. And with Kanye saying all this crazy stuff, I still haven't listened to his new album. See, with Kanye, you got to separate the person from the music. Now, me personally, I'll never support Kanye because he's 100% coon. On the real. Like, he's proven to be 100% coon. And he's damaging because of that. He's so big that people actually believe and go with the things that he's saying, in which that's absolutely the wrong thing to do. But yet, as a reviewer, I have to be able to split the individual from the music, or else I wouldn't be able to get the views. I wouldn't be able to get the money. I wouldn't be able to build up my rep as a reviewer. So I'm going to forever listen to a Kanye project, at least as long as he's still hot and all that, man. But I can't respect him. So what is it about that Daytona album that you guys liked? That's my honest question, because Daytona, Pusha T is doing the same thing that Pusha T does on every album. He's talking about crack, moving drugs, in which that's cool. He does it in a unique way to himself, and the metaphors and all of that stuff is there. But yet, I don't feel as though the punchlines hit as hard on Daytona as old Clips projects. One, and two, it's beyond time for him to talk about something new. And three, the production was pretty garbage. Like, honestly, the production has been lacking on all of these Kanye projects all the way through all of this Surgical Summer, which he completely fell off on. Like, this was supposed to be like every week, but I guess when they rush the Chicks album, which it wasn't even her full album, I guess they finally gave up on it, which thank God. Because on the real, I respect that Kanye decided to, okay, I'm going to piece all of these big name acts together, and we're going to drop a project week after week after week and organize it better than any record label could do. I respect that. Like, that's next level right there for Kanye. But what's the point if the music isn't good? You feel me? Like, what's the point in constantly dropping material if this constantly dropped material isn't going to hit for anything? You said you love the beats, you love the lyricism. Out of 7 tracks, it was the best. Okay. Will Eminem and 50 Cent make an album together? Again, if see, I'm sure 50 would be down for it because no. Honestly, I don't think so because 50 is right now in the midst of his new life. Like as a executive producer, writer, actor on Power, he came out saying it specifically that this feels like how he started when he did Get Rich or Die Trying. I feel as though he's done with the rap game like that unless he's trying to just maximize his money, which it is what it is. So therefore, I don't think. And then when you look at Eminem too, Eminem he isn't so focused in on the rap game either. He's more of just I'm doing this rap music because one, I want to make this money, and two, I need to prove a point that I'm still great. But it's not like a passion thing. Like in order for them to come together to do a joint album, they both got to be passionate. And I don't think neither of them are passionate about hip hop right now. So I really don't see it happening. Pusha T killed Drake on that diss though. Uh, Bruh, see, I always have this argument with my boys and all of that, man, that I deal with. Because here's the thing. That Pusha T diss, the story of Adidon, he dug up all kinds of dirt. And this is the types of dirt that ends a career. Mad respect for him to do that. But did he take that and make it into a quality song? Did he take that and turn it into a quality diss? No. So all you're getting is gossip, even though it's all been proven to be true. And we all hearing that it's been Kanye and ASAP Rocky that brought this all up and all of that, man. Like it's all true. These are facts. But diss battle songs usually have to be good songs too. You feel me? Wow. When you look at what Drake did with the Duppy freestyle, it wasn't as venomous when it comes to his disses, but yet his punchline disses was way better than what Pusha T just saying that you live this. And the song with the production and the overall quality of it, it was better. Okay, Drake's diss song was better than Pusha T's, but yet the music industry has changed, and I underestimated this change. See, we're in the day and age of it's not about music no more. Like, it's not about quality diss music. It's not about quality songs at all. It's about spilling tea on people. And that's all that Pusha T did was spill tea the whole way. And because that's what goes viral on social media, it works as far as the songs. So he's genius. Let's not discredit the genius that Pusha T had with this diss track. Not discrediting it. But yet, the music, I'm a music guy. Duppy Freestyle was a better diss. But yet, Pusha T, he had the ammunition to do another Exodus, in which Exodus was a fire diss, where he dissed Birdman, he dissed Drake back then. That was a great diss record in which he slaughtered Drake back in the day when Drake. I mean, I guess Drake continued to climb from that point, but he was so massive back then. That's the type of diss that I want from Pusha T. You feel me? But people are copping all kinds of pleas for the story of Added On, which it wasn't Exodus. You know Pusha T can drop great diss tracks based off of Exodus. That's what he needed to do, and he didn't deliver it. TMZ bars. Yes, TMZ bars. And that's the thing, Jacoby. Like, people were saying that this is all somewhat staged. And it makes sense because I've never seen before in the history of hip hop battles where the weakest song, not so much the disses, but the weakest song gets that much more praise. You feel me? I think there's a collection of people that really want to see Drake fail, that really just dislike him to the point that anybody who stands up to him and does anything decent, they're going to root for him. And Pusha T, by hitting so low below the belt, everybody just went along with it, even though the track wasn't dope. You feel me? So it does come off as a bit staged to a degree. I mean, because if there was a diss song where Drake should have gotten ate up, where he did get ate up and all that, it was when Joe Budden came after him. You dig? In which that was at the point where Joe Budden is pretty big. You feel me? Like that right there, when Drake didn't respond, people should have took it and ran with it like they've been running with this Pusha T diss. They should have ran with that Joe Budden diss like that, but nobody did that. Instead, they ran with the lackluster diss, which is odd. You feel me? Like that's why it feels somewhat staged. Jacoby, that invoice was funny as ever, but yet that invoice it got offset from Drake to when Pusha T put up the blackface, which that was just as low as the invoice. Like honestly, they kind of tie on the props, but the tracks I'm still going with Drake. Oh, look it up. Joe Budden went off on Drake. It was after Drake dropped the diss on I think it was on a Fresh Montana song or something. And based off of that, it gave Joe Budden the green light to just go ahead and do like a whole 5-6 minute track dissing Drake, and he slaughtered him. Nah, Sean. Yeah, no shopping. No shopping. That's the one. But nah, Sean, Pusha T is not more versatile. When you say he's only rapped about crack and selling drugs for the last 10, 15 years, that's not versatility, bro. Like Drake actually has evolved and done different things. It may be because it's ghostwriting. It may be because these other people were on it, but yet he's always experimented with other genres. So easily, Drake is far more versatile. What's my opinion on Charlemagne? I like Charlemagne. He's a funny guy, man. Even though he has elements in his political views that I don't agree with, but he's a necessary entity in hip hop right now. You feel me? I definitely like him, but he's not like the sole voice that people should be paying attention to. You feel me? Like he honestly is wrong more than people will consider him to be. Uh, uh, I mean, great music. Sean believes that Drake hasn't made great music in a while. I don't believe so. I mean, because Back to Back wasn't that long ago. Back to Back was a great song, regardless of how you feel about it. Regardless of how you feel about Drake, I feel that Nice for What is a hit. Like I know a lot of people like don't like it because it's like a female empowerment song and there's no like core lyricism to it. But I like that joint, dude. I feel as though that deserves to be a hit. Uh, what else did he do that was? I think he did like one other song too that was I would consider to be great music as well. But he's never Drake has never released a classic album. We can all agree on that. I don't believe Drake has released a classic album. I don't believe well, J. Cole on a it depends on how you feel about J. Cole. I don't think he's created a classic album, but the closest that he came was the one with Crooked Smile on there. Kendrick hasn't released a classic album. Like I believe Section 40 was a classic like mixtape, but album base, I don't think he released a classic either. Like a lot of these the newer dope MCs that everybody is clinging to, I don't think anybody has done anything like classic based. Yeah, I heard about that. Like they got some paperwork on Charlemagne the God about like him with a minor or something like that, man. And which I mean, I need to hear everything about it. And I thought that Charlemagne would have touched on it. Maybe he did and I just missed it. But for the most part, I mean, I need more facts, just like how all these white people do when they do something gotcha like I never know you never know the whole story. I need to hear the whole story. You never know what happened beyond the camera. Like I want to hear more about that before I chime in on it. You feel me? But no, it's definitely not a good look if that's what Charlemagne if that's true, definitely not a good look. uh Yes. Well, I mean, honestly, I wasn't really big on Drake in his earlier times and such, man. Like, really, when Drake first came, I don't know if it was when he first, it wasn't when he first came out, but my favorite song from Drake in his earlier days was Best I Ever Had. So, I mean, and then from there, I felt as though there was a big dip in his quality of music and all of that stuff, dude. So, I feel as though right now he's doing some of the better work of his career. Nah, I'm still not big on the To Pimp a Butterfly album. Like, I don't believe Kendrick has dropped one uh classic album. And if we were to go, and honestly, my favorite album that he dropped of his like mainstream albums would be Good Kid, Mad City, because the song Compton, which that joint still go hard to this day. But Kendrick don't have no three classic albums. All three of them, even though they are well thought out, interesting thoughts, uh, and then like the way you listen to them, they mean something. Just like how J. Cole's albums, they all have a concept to them and all of that, man. But yet, to have a classic album, every song, well, the vast majority of the songs have to be quality in their own right, not just something that ties into everything else. So therefore, you have to listen to it all. You feel me? Like I only listen to songs that go hard, strong production, like quality. You don't necessarily got to have quality lyricism, but at the end of the day, it has to be a good song. And I feel as though Kendrick has a bunch of projects that are well thought out, but yet no core great individual songs consistently throughout. Yeah, the Jay Z 444 album was kind of whack. I'm not going to deny that. Like Jay hasn't really dropped a good album in a long time. Uh what was I think the last Jay album that I really legitimately kind of enjoyed was Blueprint 3, maybe. But Jay has just gotten to the point where he he's doing what he wants to do with the music. He's focusing in on his relationships with Beyonce. He's focusing in on his corporate sponsorships and his businesses that he's having, and he's trying to be a little more socially conscious and all of that too. But he's never been good at socially conscious material. And just the overall dryness of the production that he's been selecting as of recently, man, it really isn't that good. Nah, Jay-Z ain't overrated though. Like you can't deny Jay-Z had classics. We talking Reasonable Doubt. As I said, one of my favorite albums to come out. You feel me? Reasonable Doubt was a classic. Volume 2, I would say Volume 2 was a classic. Black Album was a classic. Outside of that, man, I mean, I got my own favorite songs out of all of the albums and all of that stuff, dude. But Jay ain't overrated though. He's proven to drop classics. It's just he's past his prime. That's the thing. Like Jay should have retired after Black Album. Even though we got some pretty good music after it, like Black Album was designed for the retirement album and all that. He should have stuck all that through, you feel me, and moved on. But he's too greedy. You know, Jay, he only gonna promote himself. He's only going to like drop music for himself. He's not gonna put anybody else really on like that unless they are already on. Like he didn't want to put J. Cole on to begin with. Kanye got put on through Dame. Like Jay, all the people that Jay put on from Memphis Bleak and all of them, they was waiting for the time for so long that they never popped. They never did anything. And now he's past his prime. He's all but done, but he's still going to drop music because why not? Why pass up on the money that he could possibly get because he's established? He's just well past his prime. And the chat is acting up. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Jay-Z was by far the worst by far he was the worst Def Jam president. But yet, how many Def Jam presidents do you know? But at the end of the day, man, when Ludacris said it best, he was in competition with his own president of the label. And that was a shame because that was at the point when Ludacris was dropping some of the best music that he was dropping in his career, but yet he couldn't get any promotion because he was signed to Def Jam and Jay-Z was more focused on his next album that he was dropping. Blueprint 1, people will say is considered a classic. I like Blueprint. Blueprint was that joint. You feel me? I would definitely say that's right there with the classic. Like some songs on there though didn't age well with me, but I do believe Blueprint was a classic too. Now that I think about it, yeah, definitely. I don't think Jay-Z follows the Diddy mold to a degree. I mean, he has because like when you think back when Diddy jumped off with Sean John clothing line, then Rockaway clothing line came out. But see, Diddy was never like the rapper of his whole label or whatever. So Jay walked his own line. But yet, when it comes to business, you would be a fool not to at least consider some of these things that Diddy has done to do it for yourself because I mean, when Diddy was doing Ciroc and all that, Jay came out with uh the whatever liquor that he had. I forget. New Day, '06. Do you think that the Carter Five will do big numbers? Nah. I think Wayne is past his prime too, which sucks. Like, see, they did Little Wayne just like they doing Kaepernick. Like Kaepernick in his prime, where he should be balling out right now on a team doing really good numbers, but yet they blackballed him and he couldn't do anything. Wow, Lil Wayne was past his prime when all of this blackballing came up because of the sales and all of this, man. But yet he could have brought it back. But yet time has gone on too far, man. I think Wayne's time has passed. And it would be best for Wayne now that he's a free agent to drop the Carter Five and then go more into uh, being like a A&R with his own label and all of that. You did? Because he obviously got the ear for music. He obviously knows how to piece together a super team. He needs to do that again. If he can do it again, he'll be in like the lane of what Dr. Dre has done. You feel me? Now personally, I don't believe Good Kid, Mad City, and The Pimp a Butterfly are going to stand the test of time because honestly, there's only one song off of both of those projects that I still listen to this day, right now, which is Compton. Like, but I still listen to Section 80 though. Oh, almost all of Section 80 standed the test of time. Reasonable Doubt. I did skip like one or two songs off of Reasonable Doubt. But yeah, that was just my own personal favorites. But for the most part, Reasonable Doubt straight through as well. Yeah. Oh man. Damn, we almost been on here for 2 hours, bruh. Uh soon as I hit the 2 hour mark, man, I'm gonna log off, you dig? So we got like 3 more minutes. So ask your question now. Wayne got shelved like a Keebler elf. Brockhampton. I've been seeing Brockhampton around a lot, but I've never actually listened to any of his stuff. I like all the Kendrick projects. Well, we got to be careful when we consider joints classics. Absolutely. Like classic material, you got to stand the test of time. It's got to be like maybe 5 or so years, man, of consistent listening to, man, before you can actually seriously consider it as a classic. You feel me? JPEG Mafia, I've never even heard of them. If that's like a person or a team or anything. Like, are they new? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about a new DJ Quick album at all. Like, but DJ Quick and Problem, man, those two projects that they did was straight. Like, now they didn't age as well as I thought they was going to age. You feel me? But I did enjoy like the Rosecrans and the Rosecrans extended. DJ Quick is a good producer, man. I wouldn't put him in my top five, but yet I definitely did enjoy. Like I love like his whole style of West Coast and actually using instrumentation instead of going with the synths and all of that stuff at points, man. He's really good. He's a single rapper that makes experimental music. JPEG Mafia. Yeah, I mean, ain't no fretting over here, Sean. I feel you. Dudes always did that too back in the day. Everybody want to make an instant quote unquote classic and all that, dude. Me personally, I've never been the type to do that though. I always like, cause my opinion, it changes over time. You feel me? And the last question I'm gonna ask is, what do I think about Daylight? I feel like Daylight is an attention whore who does anything and say anything for the camera to be in his face. And I mean, it's not man-like for him to be doing anything like that. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it is what it is because people people know of him. And that's the key. It's like what's his name? The Pirates of the Caribbean. When they came up to Captain Jack and said, "You are the worst pirate I've ever seen and ever heard of in my life, but you heard of me." That's what Daylight is like. But indeed, man, appreciate y'all showing up, man. We're gonna try to do more of these later. Maybe I'll be able to use my actual camera, but we're gonna keep it 100, man.